I really need this coffee today. That was a lot hotter than I thought it'd be. But I need it. Hi guys, welcome back and Happy New Year, y'all. I know every single person says this, but I truly cannot believe that it's already 2025. The years just need to slow down. Please and thank you. So today we're gonna do my December wrap up and then we're gonna hit the 25 hopefuls for 2025. I'm not doing a January TBR because I don't feel like it. I did not touch a single book from my TBR for last month, so I'm gonna put TBRs on a hold, or at least monthly TBRs. I'm just in my mood reader era and monthly TBRs just, they don't go with that. So let's get into the December wrap up. I read 27 books in the month of December, which is insane. So since I read so many books, and only one of them was a physical book that I have here with me. All of the other ones were either audiobooks or Kindle Unlimited. And just with the amount of books that I read, if you're not new to this channel, you know, but if you're new, my memory, not great. So you can bet that I don't remember a majority of these. So we're just gonna rapid fire the book that I read, the rating, and if I have any little thoughts, like if it left a lasting impression on me, I'll say it, but there's a lot of books, y'all, and I don't remember most of them. First up, I read Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist, and I gave it 2.75 stars. Don't remember anything. Apple Cider and Subterfuge, 2.5 stars. Remembers this much. I'm pretty positive that it was just two people that were on a secret mission together, and they ended up falling in love. Yeah, that's all I remember. Hot Cocoa and Mistletoe, I gave a 3.5. This one, I remember. I just thought it was really cute. It was this girl that was staying in her grandma's cabin, or like her late grandma's cabin. I think it was her grandmother, but like a relative. And her mother tried to sell it to somebody else, and now she's splitting the property with this guy. They had a miscommunication to where they're both there for Christmas. They both get snowed in, and before then they both kind of like hated each other, but then again they fall in love. It was really cute and I really enjoyed it. So next is Bubble Bubble Here Comes Trouble. I gave it 2 stars. Nothing. And then I read back to back the Under the Mistletoe collection. It's just a bunch of Christmas novellas. So the first one was Cruel Winter with You. I gave that 3.75. Merry Ever After I gave 2.5. All by My Elf, 2 stars. I really hated that one. I'm not even gonna lie. Merriment and Mayhem, 3 stars. Only Santa's in the Building, 3.25. I thought they were all really cute, but my favorite was definitely Cruel Winter with You. It just really set the tone, and then nothing else in the series really measured up. But it makes sense because I think that one was by Ali Hazelwood. It's hard to live up to her. Next I've got Killjoy, which I gave 3.75, but honestly, I might just knock it down to 3 stars. That's just the novella to the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, and I just wanted to get that series done, checked off my list. It was fast, it was fun, it was like a murder mystery party. I enjoyed it, 3 stars. Next is Clause and Effect, 3 stars. I don't remember that one. I'm bringing it down to 2.5 because I don't remember it. My December Darling, I gave 4 stars. Knock it down half a star because again, I don't remember. But I'm also gonna trespass Lauren in that she loved it, but if I don't remember it, it's gonna get knocked down a peg. A Christmas Date, I gave 3 stars. You know the drill. Once Upon a Christmas Tree, gave 3 stars. I'm just gonna call this the memory tax. Then I've got The Christmas Guest, I gave 2.5. I do remember this one and I remember not liking it. So it will be spared the memory tax, but that doesn't make it any better. Then I read Nick and Charlie. It's the novella in Heartstoppers that follow Nick and Charlie right before Nick is going to university. I just love them so much. They're so wholesome. They really understand each other. There was a miscommunication in here, but it was just because they were both being kind of ridiculous and stubborn, but it was still really cute and I really enjoyed it. And I just love Heartstopper. What can I say? Then I read The Housemaid. I read this when I was driving back from Dallas from seeing my sister. Now, I love Frida McFadden's books. I know that after you read a few, you kind of know what to look out for. And honestly, I tried to guess this, and I guessed part of the twist, but not how like deep it went. I gave The Housemaid 4.25 stars. It had me sucked in. I did not look up from my Kindle that entire last part of the drive. I basically read it in one sitting, and that is pretty rare for me in like a full length book, not like a novella, because my attention span is just not there. So I absolutely loved that one. The Mistletoe Mystery, 2 stars. I don't remember that at all. Memory Tax. Next. Then we've got The Christmas Tree Connection. I think this was the first in another little mini series. I don't remember what it was called, but I think there was like 10 plus books in this little mini series. I only read a few of them just because they were all so wholesome and sweet, and I can only read so many of those back to back. I think I ended up reading 4 of them. So Christmas Tree Connection, I gave 3 stars. Holiday Lights and Cocoa Cookie Nights, I gave 2.5. Saint Nick and Me Are Meant to Be, 4 stars. I loved that one. Madeleine's Mistletoe Meet Cute, 3 stars. All of those, and I think that entire series is just a super cute, wholesome Christmas novella series. No spice as far as I can tell. So if that is something that you're looking for in some books, definitely check those out. They were all so cute. All right, now we're getting to the only physical book that I read this month. And that was The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. I absolutely loved this book. If you know me, you know that I absolutely love Knives Out, the movie. And what really sold me reading this book was that at the very top it says Knives Out gets a rom-com twist in this Rivals to Lovers Christmas romance mystery from best-selling author Ali Carter. First words were Knives Out and I was sold. And it truly is Knives Out vibes, 100%. I gave this one 4.5 stars. It's probably my favorite Christmas themed book that I've ever read. It's so unique in like the Christmas realm of novels. Like this sort of mystery and the stakes that are in here, and then it's a Rivals to Lovers. It's just everything and more, and I really, really enjoyed it. Highly recommend for any Christmas reads. If y'all are still in a Christmas mood in January, grab it. And then the last few are A Very Stalker Christmas, which I gave 3.25. Then I read That One Night. I gave it 4 stars. That is the prequel novella to the Jacksonville Rays series. And I've been wanting to start that series, and I saw that that was available on Kindle Unlimited and that it was a short little novella, and I was like, why not? So I read that, absolutely loved it, a lot more than I thought I was going to, but I am very excited to continue that series. Next is 2 Scoops of Hellfire. I gave it 3 stars. All that you need to know about it is that it has to do with baking, accidentally summoning a demon, and COVID. Yeah. And then the last book that I read was The Gift by Frida McFadden. I gave it 3 stars on here, but I think I might knock it down to 2.75. It was just such a weird premise, and it truly creeped me out at some parts. I did not guess what the twist was, but all I'm wondering is, girl, how in the hell do you come up with this? You know what? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Okay, those were all the books that I read in December, and now let's get into the 25 hopefuls for 2025. I am really excited for 2025, not just when it comes to books, but also just like life in general. I just have a really good feeling about it, but we're focusing on books here, so let's get into it. So I have these broken out into 3 different sections. The first one is new releases for 2025. Second one is series that I either want to start or that I want to focus on. And the third is specific books or authors that I want to read or just continue reading. So I have 6 new releases that I'm really, really excited about. First one is Onyx Storm. Duh. That's coming out later this month, and I'm very, very excited. I'm going to a midnight release party. I'm so excited, but I'm so nervous. Like, what's gonna happen? I don't know. Then we've got Fearless by Lauren Roberts. She's wrapping up her series. I'm excited, but after how I felt about Reckless, I really hope that this is a redemption moment. I really, really do. Because I love her writing style. I absolutely love Powerless and Powerful. Love those 2. I really, really hope that Fearless is going to just... Next is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Anything and Everything by Emily Henry. She is an auto-buy author for me. I don't think there's ever been a book by Emily Henry that I just thought, I don't really like it. I love everything that she puts out. Then we've got Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I love Abby Jimenez. And just by the title of this book, I know that it's just gonna ruin me. Say You'll Remember Me. Next is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. Again, I love her books in general. They're also just beautiful. Like, she does not hold back with her covers. They are all so beautiful, so vibrant. I absolutely love them. And then I didn't even know that this next one was coming out, and I saw it and I immediately was like, add it to the list. And that's Watch Me by Tahereh Mafi. It is the first book in this new spin-off series that she's doing, I guess, and it's Shatter Me, The New Republic. Shatter Me was one of the first series that I read when I got back into reading, and so it holds a special place in my heart. I love that series. Just something about the dystopian types of books are just very nostalgic for me as far as books go. I'm not touching that. Next section is series, and these are series that I either want to start in 2025 or that I want to prioritize and try and finish. First up is the Windy City series. I have heard about this series for, it feels like years at this point, and I feel like I would like it a lot. Then we've got the Jacksonville Rays series. Like I mentioned before when I read That One Night, really want to start this series, and I already have Pucking Around. I've actually had this for several months at this point, so very, very excited to start this one. I'm just gonna stack books back there. Maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't, I don't know. The next series, to no one's surprise, is Throne of Glass. I am still reading these, and what? I really want to finish this series in 2025. I need to know what happens, because I hear that the last 3 books in this series just absolutely annihilate people, and honestly I need a new personality. Right now my personality is Wicked, but I'm totally okay with it shifting over to Throne of Glass. Then we've got Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates. I'm currently on Daisy Hates. I read Magnolia like end of summer, beginning of fall this year, and I really enjoyed it, but I hear that people like Daisy Hates more. Very intrigued, very excited. Then I've got the Rose Hill series and the Chestnut Spring series. I want to get back into like small town romance type books, because I finished the Knock 'Em Out series, and that is very like small town romance with backstory of mystery, and I miss that feeling, so I feel like those are gonna really hit the spot. Then I've got the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. I don't know why I haven't read it yet, but it's my goal to read it this year, or at least start it. Then I want to finish Part of Your World, the series by Abby Jimenez. The only one that I have left is Yours Truly. I've had this book for so long. Hold on, does it say what month? I got this in May of 2023. So I've had this for a long time. There's no excuse why I haven't read it yet, but she's a priority. I'm gonna get her done, and then we'll have another complete series. And then this is a reread, but it's from years and years and years ago when I was an adolescent, and that is the Hunger Games series. I only have Catching Fire and Mockingjay. I don't have the first one, and I don't have Songbirds and Snakes, whatever that one's called, the latest movie. I don't have that book, but I really want to reread these books. I remember loving them when I was younger, and like I mentioned earlier, just the nostalgia of this dystopian stuff, it just takes me back to middle school, to a simpler time. I want to see how my opinion has changed or if it's remained the same. It'll be fun. And then the last section is specific books or authors that I either want to try or that I want to continue reading. The first one is Stephen King. He is a bucket list author, I feel, for like a lot of people. His books are so intimidating for a lot of reasons. I feel like he's known for horror. I've never read horror. Or they are so incredibly long that it just makes me like coil in like I'm doing right now. I have 2 of his books. I have 11/22/63 and Billy Summers. I don't know which one I would want to read more, but I know I want to read at least one of these because I've had both of these for months at this point, and I just need to do it. I'll also be so proud of myself once I do it, and I just have this feeling in my soul that he's going to turn into one of my favorite authors. It's just a feeling. What is this feeling? So sudden and new. I felt the moment I laid eyes on you. Oh god. And then Kristen Hanna. I feel like she's really blown up in the last year or so. I have a couple of books by her, but I think this one is closer to the top of my list of what I would want to read by her. All That I Know is that she tends to rip people apart. And I love that. Another author that I really want to try out, and I've heard a lot in the last year or so because of Haley, and I'm gonna butcher this name, I'm so sorry, but I think it's Mhairi McFarlane, and Haley has raved about every single one of her books that she's read, and I really want to give them a shot because I tend to really enjoy books that Haley recommends. Then I've got Annabelle Monaghan. I read Summer Romance over the summer and I absolutely loved this book. It was very much like Emily Henry type of feeling that I got from this one. It's the literary fiction with a little bit of romance in it, and I just love her writing style. I love how she developed all the characters. It's just so good, and I want to read more of her books. The next author I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier with the Knock 'Em Out series, but it's Lucy Score. I have not read as much Lucy Score in this past year that I typically do. I really, really love Lucy Score and her writing, and I just need to add that back into my routine. She's never failed me, and I need to bring it back. Not just because I love her writing and I love her storytelling, but also all of her books are so thick for romances that it makes me feel so accomplished when I finish them. And now we're getting into more specific books. There's only a few of these because I know myself. So the first one is A Little Life. This is one of those books that I have heard a bunch of mixed reviews about it. People either say that it's just a book full of trauma dumping and they hated it, or there's people saying that there's a lot of trauma in here, but it changed their life. So I personally want to read this. I don't think, based off the little bit that I know about the trigger warnings and what goes on in here, I don't think I'm ever going to be like, hey, you should read this book, because I don't know what anyone else is going through, and I don't know how this level of trauma is going to affect someone personally, but I want to read it. It's on my list. The next book that I want to read is Little Women. I want to try and read more classic books, but this particular one holds a special place in my heart for a few reasons. The main one is that this revolves around 4 sisters, and one of them is sick. And I am one of 4 girls, and my little sister was very sick. So I feel like I'm going to relate to this a lot. Also, my middle sister Ashley gave this to me for my birthday last year. We also watched the movie together, and she said that I reminded her a lot of Amy, but like the movie Amy with Florence Pugh. I'm so honored that she compares me to someone that is played by Florence Pugh. I just stuttered so bad right there. But I'm very intrigued because when I watched the movie, the sisters in the movie literally replicate me and my sisters. I'm not gonna cry, but this might make me cry. Then I've got The Ministry of Time. My oldest sister gave this to me for Christmas this year, and I've heard incredible things about this book. I don't know a ton about it at all, and I think I'm going to just try and go in blind. Very excited for this one. Then I've got Daisy Jones and the Six. Again, I've had this book for so long. This is a book of the month. I've had this since March of 2019. Oh my god. I feel like this is just one of those books that I've heard very few negative reviews about it. I also really want to watch the show, but if I have the book, I have to read the book first before I watch the show because I need to compare. So it's about time that I read this one. And then the last book that I want to read this year is Wicked. My parents actually gave this to me for my birthday last month. I have not been able to shut up about Wicked. I watched the slime tutorial Wicked on YouTube a bit before I saw the movie because I just grew up with the music, but I didn't know what the story was. And now that I know the full story, it just ruins me. And it actually came out to be bought or rented yesterday. When I tell you that I watched that movie 3 times yesterday, and if my eyes are a little bit red, it's because I've been crying, because I cry throughout that entire movie. I love it that much. So I really want to read the book. I know that the book is very, very different from the movie. It's a lot darker from what I've heard, but I'm very interested to see what I think about it. Also, when I was flipping through the very beginning, it has this map. It's like so fantasy, and I love it. So that is all the 25 hopefuls for 2025. And then I just want to mention 3 goals that I have for this year that I really want to focus on. So first up, my reading goal for this year, my Goodreads reading goal, I want to read 80 books. I set my goal last year to be 60 books and I blew that out of the water. I'm not quite at the point where I want to set my reading goal to be 100. I feel like 80 is a good spot for where I'm at in my love for reading and my hyperfixation for reading. So that is goal number 1. Goal number 2 is to focus more on reading from my physical TBR. I tend to either go buy books and read them right away, or I go on Kindle Unlimited, or I get audiobooks. And whenever I do that, I don't pick things that are on my physical TBR. I just pick new books. And I want to focus on my collection that I have here. I want to read books and then I want to determine ones that I want to keep or unhaul. I only have so much room for bookshelves, and if I want to keep going down the path that I'm currently going down, my entire house is going to be bookshelves. Which nothing is wrong with that. However, I'm not going to live here forever, and that is going to make moving a pain in my butt. So, gonna read my physical books and then determine if I want to keep them or not. And then the last one is don't be afraid to DNF. Quantity over quality is what I've been focusing on, but I want to focus more on quality and finding books that I really love and really enjoy. And I think the only way for me to realistically achieve that is to DNF books that I'm not liking. And I need to look at it from a point of, you didn't fail to read this book, it just didn't meet your expectations and you're moving on to something better. So I'm hoping with those 3 goals in mind, I'm going to have a less chaotic year and I'm going to fully enjoy books a lot more. But that about wraps up today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I want to wish everyone a happy new year and best of wishes for 2025. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!